What up? Grape kombucha today. Kombucha is delicious. I'm gonna start prepping for Thanksgiving, and I got all these messages saying that my videos are so entertaining and people like them. So I'm just gonna keep going, I guess. So yeah, shout out to all the people that like watching me make a fool of myself. And shout out my boy Shane for this t-shirt. Pretty sick screen print. Shane paints. He's turning into a pretty badass artist. He just had his first art show. But anyway, alright, I'm gonna make a stock and I'm gonna make a pomegranate glaze, because that's what I'm doing on my chicken. So yes, chicken rather than turkey, because I don't really like turkey, and so I got a small organic chicken. My original plan was game hens, which are like really small little birds, like this big. I was gonna make one for me and one for my wife, but they were out of game hens, so now I'm doing pomegranate glazed chicken. I know everyone watching this right now like, I can't believe it's not booze. Whoa, it's kombucha, man. Fire. For good chicken stock, chicken feet. Use chicken feet because it's the part of the animal that moves the most. So there's lots of muscles and it makes some really good flavor. It might freak some people out, but it really does make the best chicken stocks. All right, so when you're making a stock, a few things. You want to add some extra flavor. So I'm gonna add some vegetables. It's pretty standard. Some onion, some celery, probably a little garlic. I have fennel, so I'm gonna use that. It all just adds more flavor, and it's just a better. This makes it easier when you're making a mess. It's just gonna be one trip to the trash can instead of like, you know, yeah. Again, non-traditional. Let me preface that. It'd be really great to throw some bay leaves in this stock, but I don't have them. What I do have though is kaffir lime leaves. Foam on the top, and I'll show you that. Once you get your stock up, you want to have it on just a slight boil. It's a little simmer, little sim, and then this is for skimming. We'll do in a little bit, but see, it builds up this gross stuff. You skim that off, and you have a nice stock underneath. Have you seen Jurassic Park? It's time to strain the stock now. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set up. I have a strainer. I have a pan. I'm gonna put another strainer in that. Okay, I was gonna say don't laugh at me, but you're definitely gonna laugh. Check this out. Triple strainer action. So this is really all you need, but mine is really small. So then I got this other one that has smaller holes, and then this has a little bit bigger holes. I'm just, I want to make sure I strain it good. That's strawberries, vodka, and strawberry soda with strawberry juice. Call it the strawberry. It's really good. Now I'm gonna make my pomegranate glaze. Pomegranate reduction, I don't know, it sounds awesome. So the recipe is 2 cups of juice, 1/4 a cup of sugar, and 3/4 of a teaspoon of peppercorn. This is my measuring device. We learned earlier. Gotta try this. I've never had it like out of the jar box plastic before, so I've only had the real thing. It kind of tastes like cranberry juice, but a little less bitter, maybe. Whatever. I'm gonna put it in a cocktail, so YOLO. 1/4 a cup of sugar. I doubled my recipe, so I need 2 of these, which makes a 1/2 a cup. Hell yeah, team. We're gonna be friggin' adding fractions by the end of this. We're gonna be freaking writing equations. Y equals mx plus b, baby. So that's my sugar. And next, I have some black peppercorns. It says about a 3/4 of a teaspoon and crushed. So I got a little molcajete here. Put in about that many. Looks good to me. Maybe just a little extra. And I'll show you that right now. Winging it, sounds delicious to me. And that's all I got. Alright, so I got my sauce on. It started out as 4 cups by our math. We're gonna try to reduce it down to around 1 cup. It's a cheeseburger. That's it. It's my favorite. While I have your attention, the Los Angeles Lakers are the National Basketball Association World Champions. Let's go. We got Marc Gasol. All right, I told my bartender friend what ingredients I had. He was a bartender at Sama Sama. That's an awesome restaurant in Santa Barbara, where I'm from. Actually, I'm in Goleta, but they're really dope, and he's made me some really good cocktails when I've been there. So I told him what I have, which is mint, lemon, bourbon, and simple syrup. So I'm gonna make a cocktail following his instructions exactly. So the instructions are as follows. I'm going to read them off. Okay, in a tin, throw like 4 mint leaves. So I don't have a shaker, I have a deli cut. Mint. And 50 ounces of simple. So I got my minty simple syrup, 1 ounce measuring thing. Do about half. Put that in. Give it a light muddle. I'm talking like 1 or 2 hits. This is what I have. I don't have a muddler either. Light hits. I'm smashing the mint, working it around a little bit. Okay. Sweet and minty. Anzen Hardware in Los Angeles. If you ever need knives or cool Japanese shit, go check it out. Anzen will be there, and he's a dope, really nice guy. So I'm gonna squeeze my lemon. Whoa, squirting it everywhere. Looks like about, oh, we're almost there. They're juicy lemons. I don't know if you can see that. These are Myers for my parents' tree in Goleta. I'm gonna use a strainer. Step number 3 is 2 ounces of the bourbon, which I have is called Larceny. It's not very fancy. Looks like this. Kentucky straight bourbon. 2 ounces. So this is my mixture of all that stuff. Next step is fill the tin with ice and shake that bitch for 10 seconds. So I'm gonna do that. All right, that was about 10 seconds. In a cup, crust the rim with a brown sugar rim. Kind of done horribly. It's turbinado sugar, I didn't have that. And it says to double strain that shit over your ice in cup. I'm gonna put ice in my cup and double strain that shit. Picture to follow. So this is what it looks like. I tried to make the same thing last night I didn't do that good of a job. I didn't follow his recipe though, so here we go. Well, it's better than mine. If anything's wrong with it, it's probably my measuring. Another thing I need to clarify, some of my chef buddies think I'm disrespecting certain dishes for putting togarashi in them instead of... A question from my dog was, when am I going to cook dinner for us again? My dog, probably after the holidays, because Corona is taking out everyone. Specifically a smashed cheeseburger with nice pickles. I prefer pickled chilies, but that's spicy for some people. My favorite burger is actually popping up today. The Dang Burger at Brew Lab Craft in Carpinteria. Go an equivalent ingredient like red pepper or a jalapeno. You know what? Fuck you, buddies. He's a cafeteria chef, so whatever. Talking about probably 1 3/4 cup, you fucking idiot. You know, quarantine struggles are real hard right now. I feel bad. I took it out on my boy Bobcat. My bad, Bobcat. I'm gonna make these burrito leftovers. Yeah, you're right. It was me. I shaved my own neck. Horribly. I didn't use a mirror. Just went for it. Full send shave. So, good night, everybody. Cheers. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to round 2 of prep. Funny story, my grandpa's name is Chuck. He gets Chucky, and he loves to drink mimosas on Thanksgiving. So I have a small organic chicken. It's about 4 pounds. And I'm just gonna dry it off a little bit. Just helps with the crisping in the oven if the skin is nice and dry. I'm gonna start by what they call spatchcocking it. Guts. Oh, and my knives. When you're butchering, you want to use a thicker knife. This is pretty thick. This is German steel. It doesn't chip easily, so it's good for cracking through bones. This is a Messermeister. And I also have what I like to call a boner knife. So, you can also do this with the video cut out. Some little scissors here. This is the backbone. I'm gonna go until kind of like my scissors can't handle it anymore. If you have bigger scissors, I'm getting a nice clean cut here. I should have done this yesterday. I blew it. You do this and then you can use this in your stock. But that's it. Chicken back. Finished spatchcocking it. So I'm gonna flip it over. Or maybe that was like the neck bone, I don't know. And then you just take it like this. I haven't decided yet. Gotta think about it. Amanda so kindly generated one of her painting brushes.
Generated.
She generated it with magic. But I'm just gonna do a little marination on this bird. I got a little bit of thyme, sage, savory, which is like another Italian spice, a little togarashi, and olive oil. I'm just gonna paint this up and then let it sit for a few hours before I roast it. And we'll talk soon. Or there, cookies. Gonna make a bit of a vegetarian lasagna tonight. Alright, so I'm making a lasagna with no noodles. I'm gonna use zucchini instead. I'm gonna put mushrooms in the middle of it, some cheeses, and I'm gonna make tomato sauce. Basic. Also be sure to rinse them under water real good. Give them a little wipe. Mushrooms are one of the dirtiest vegetables there are because they grow out of the ground. Unless they're like hydroponic mushrooms. First thing I'm going to do is cook off my mushrooms. Mushrooms are super easy to cook. You just do it low and slow and always in butter. Don't be an idiot. Shout out to Zach H for teaching me how to do hands-free. I want to show you how you clean a mushroom. That's it. These are woody, no bueno. Alright, my butter's melted. I'm just going to give it a splash of oil. It just helps it to not burn. Burnt butter or burn noisette is great, but we don't want to do that with our mushrooms. So my heat here is like medium-high. Always season them, obviously. We season in layers. We talked about that last time. Salt and pepper. Mushrooms shrink though a lot. Like it looks like there's a lot in this pan. They're gonna shrink down a lot. So don't over salt them because the salt concentrates. You dig? JK, my dogs. We gotta get these mushrooms going. Whoops. Oh, now they're like halfway cooked. I'm gonna throw in some garlic. We just want these tasting nice, you know. There might have been a little bell pepper in there. And this is thyme and sage. Just for some extra flavies. You don't really need to cook them a bunch. And carrots, onions, celery, bell pepper, garlic, onion. Did I say that? Tomato paste is how we make our sauce taste like it cooked all day. It's important to cook this down. So let it go for like 5 minutes. I like to deglaze my sauces, usually with white wine, but I don't have that. I have some apple cider vinegar, so I'm gonna use that instead. Just less than I would use of wine. After whatever liquid you've used has reduced and you have more of a pasty consistency of your vegetables, it's time to add the frickin' tomatoes. So don't be a puto, get the real stuff, okay? San Marzano, peeled tomatoes, okay? This is what makes sauce good. These are whole. I mean, you could blend your sauce after, or you could just leave them chunky and they'll be good. I'm gonna just like, once they get hot, just beat them up like this. I also did that off the heat, because tomatoes, paste, and sauce and stuff can be a bit goopy. And it's easy to burn or fuck it up. Now I'm going to season it with a little basil, probably marjoram, and fennel. All dry. I would assume, I don't know. I'll just show you. Half a tablespoon of fennel powder. Fennel powder can be strong. I've actually made it before. It's a painstaking process. You know who you are who made me do that, you asshole. It was good stuff though. So a little togarash for some good spice. A tablespoon of basil. Tablespoon of marjoram. I worked for 5 minutes, now it's time to take a break. So the next thing I gotta do is make a ricotta mixture. And maybe grate some parm, and that's it. And then I'm gonna build the lasagna. But needed to take a quick break for these messages from our sponsor, Firestone. Brewing. Thanks Firestone for everything. Fucking psych. This is a ricotta mixture. It's ricotta, 1 egg, some lemon juice, some dried basil, and some fennel powder. That's it. I think I'm gonna put some mushroom powder in it too. Are you still with me here? Video number like fucking 69. This is aminos. It's just good stuff. You should cook with it. I don't want to dirty a mandolin, so I'm not going to. I'm just gonna cut the zucchinis by hand. But if you have a mandolin, that's what you should use. So you have even, uniform cuts of your zooks. So that's
one thing I forgot to talk about was the zucchinis. Put a little salt on them so they get out some of the excess water, because
looks edible. Tots, garlic. I'm gonna make a potato puree. Follow along. Alright, so I'm making potato puree. The key thing for potato purees or mashed potatoes or whatever is to use a yellow potato. Like this. They're creamy. This filter is actually one of my favorite artists. That's great. One thing. You always have to season your water so it tastes like the ocean. An important note about your potato puree or mashed potatoes is you should peel them. I did not because I'm a freaking psychopath. All we care about that they cook at the same time. Even. You see how the potato is separating from the skin right here? How easy it is to push through and it smashes. That's about how cooked you want your potatoes. Like they already want to puree themselves. Cubed butter, baby. That's gonna go in our puree. I don't know if that's super healthy, but it's gonna make it good. A little bit of milk that I'm gonna mix with some chicken stock. Also, one super most important part of making any puree that I didn't mention, you need a high-powered blender. So if you don't have a Vitamix or something like I have, a Waring Extreme, if you don't have that, you're gonna have a hard time. This is an example of too many potatoes in your blender. Don't do this. You see those fill lines? Listen to them. Alright, so obviously I can't blend it and talk to my phone at the same time. So I partially blended it. Here you go, potato puree. Blended it with milk and chicken broth. Normally you'd want to probably use some type of heavy cream or something, but you know, we've been quarantining way too hard. We're dieting a little bit. And I'll show you what you want to do while it's blending, since I can't really blend and talk at the same time. So you definitely want to taste it. It needs way more salt, obviously. We cooked it in water and it's just blended fucking potatoes with milk. So season it. Big time. Potatoes, I learned this from a good friend, Chef O. They can handle a really good amount of salt. So don't be afraid. If you want them to taste good, they need salt. Very important, while it's blending, or else you're an idiot. if you go to a fancy restaurant, they're never, ever, 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 ever going to use black pepper for something like this. They're always going to use white pepper. Most people don't have that in their house, so like me, probably just like you have pepper from fucking Costco. Unless you grounded it. Unless you ground your pepper, you probably have Costco shit, but you know what? Fuck it. Oh, that shit hitting. Y'all thought we was only making potato puree, but we're also making a goddamn broccolini. Okay, in France, they use a term called mise en place, and that means to always be in a constant state of readiness, so always prepped, always ready. In our case, our mise en place is lighting the barbecue, which is done, check, and this. Damn it. Like an old man. A little oil, a little salt, a little pepper, a little secret spice. I'm from central Southern California, Goleta. So I like to use our local Meyer lemons. Super good. Very important with meat, slice against the grain. I don't know if you can see it, but it's running this way. On it, like fresh herbs. We have some pomegranate seeds, just to make it look pretty. And then last week, we pickled some chilies. Those always work out pretty good on anything like this. These are chilies from the garden. That shit's fire, dog. Alright. You gonna learn today. The most important part to storing any herbs is a paper towel. Whoa, where am I? Paper towel. Put it at the bottom of your thing you're storing it in. Or you could get a paper towel a little bit damp and just roll it up like this and keep it in your fridge that way. Rachel also asked if you can store chopped cilantro. You totally can. I would put it in something like a deli cut with a paper towel on the bottom. But just food for thought, I'd recommend maybe getting it down to the smaller leaves and keeping that in the deli cup and chopping it as you want to use it, because depending on the sharpness of your knife, you might bruise the herbs a little bit. So if you have a really sharp knife, you're probably fine. If it's not, about bruising, bruised herbs oxidize. You notice basil is super delicate. If you slice basil and leave it on your counter for like 30 seconds, it'll start to like get brown on the edges, and that's because it's bruising. So that can happen to any herb because they're obviously pretty delicate. You can bruise the herbs a little bit, and I don't know, if you're picky like me or a crazy person, no. You gotta come to Chuckyburg to find out, dude. Find the best beef you can, make your own buns, or buy Martin's potato buns, and that's about it. I just want to be really honest with you. Probably not. I don't have the kitchen space. I don't have the storage. I don't have the cheesecloth. I actually don't really prep veggies ahead of time because I have so much fun using a knife and it's very meditative for me, but I would just make sure they're not soft vegetables. Prep hard ones. Those are also fruit. Yeah, hell yeah. Cut up your vegetables. If you made it this far into my story, you're a champ. What does vodka do in tempura batter? I have no idea. I would guess it kills any yeast that you'd have in there. Would you have yeast? I'd put beer in mine. That's my answer. I got one more question as a message, and I just wanted to answer it because I thought it was so good. It was about what is mushroom powder, and do you smoke it or snort it? This is mushroom powder. It's basically like an umami powder, but let's go through the ingredients. Salt, dried onions, ground mustard seed, porcini mushroom powder, white button mushroom, crushed red pepper, black pepper, and dried thyme. The way you'd make a mushroom powder is you'd get a dehydrator and you'd clean your mushrooms really well, and then you'd sit them in there, and then you'd blend them up into a powder. That's it. Vitamix, high power, baby. And to answer, do you smoke or snort them? I cook with them, but I'm sure you could smoke or snort them, and it would just be epic.
Seed right now belongs to New Orleans. No Drew Brees.
Oh, these are like recaps of other games?
He was very efficient.
Here, making my tea. I want to show off my new thing. There's tea, loose leaf tea in his tail. Look at that.